40 channel here, making my afternoon/evening rounds via GT Ricochet Plus mountain bike. Still breaking this in. Picked it up last week. Just a little about me besides being a writer and a singer-songwriter. My mainstay is buying and selling. Haven't had a real job in a little over 10 years. Actually, I guess closer to 11 now. I've had my own business since I was 30. And so a lot of my shipping I do in the evening, and I'll run around, throw my stuff in a backpack, depending on how much I have, a big backpack, small backpack, or if it's too much, I have another bike with 2 milk crates on it, set up like a bike packing rig, and I'll load up a bunch of stuff in that and run it over if need be. This slide always takes forever. On Highway 40. Of course, don't get me wrong, this GT Plus bike isn't the ideal road rider, but as you can see, there's still plenty of snow around, and on my average, maybe 5-ish mile afternoon rounds, I'll be on a combo of roads and trails and such. So at the moment, with the snow being here still, it's nice to be able to go about whatever I want to on this bike versus have to be more choosy or restricted with the road bike or my hybrid. I can still see my tire track going down and up this dip over here from the other day on my last video. Oh yeah, it's all about the layers.
How about that?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you. Dip. Yeah. Oh yeah. Nice fella. Dude stopped for me, paying it forward there. Gonna jump off Car Road, pick up the Vandalia Trail or Vandalia Rail Trail, headed east. Right now about 0.75 miles-ish north of Highway 40. I have no problem riding on roads or anything. I don't mind mixing it up with traffic. But between the post office and the Plainfield Goodwill that I like to pick relatively often, this is the nearest and best way to get there. And a lot of times I got the whole trail to myself. Not that I mind sharing. like getting to say hey to folks that are out jogging, biking, whatever, walking. Several years ago, when I was up, my back was thrown out from an old moving injury. I used to be a driver for a moving company in my 20s, right up to when I started my own business when I was 30. And like almost every mover that ever existed, I've got some old chronic injuries that if I attend to, stay flexible and all that, they don't really bother me. But if I get behind on that sort of thing, they can jump out of nowhere, just bend in the wrong direction or whatever. Anyway, so back Christmas Eve, 2016, I was in my garage, ironically packing a back massager that had sold, and I wanted to get it dropped off before Christmas. Been over to pick up, of all things, a damn piece of paper, packing paper, at just the wrong angle. And my first and worst back injury I ever had when I was about 21, maybe 22. Man, that thing let loose. I just went down on the floor like you dropped a sack of potatoes in my garage, right on the concrete. Couldn't get up. Took me 45 minutes to get off the floor. Thankfully, a couple of the fam was there. They were encouraging me during all my cussing and whatnot. Fetched me a bottle of Evan Williams. I figured I needed something to work for, so I told myself once I get my ass back bipedal again in the garage, I could have a shot of whiskey, so that worked pretty well. But anyway, for a few years, well, really, since I left the moving business when I was 30, you have such an extreme volume of work and calorie burning. It's very hard to match that. And so even with being probably, more active than the average adult, which didn't really say much, but I'm still on my feet probably more of the day than not, where I was then, and I'd walk here and there, but didn't really have any kind of, might add, it's a beautiful trail right now with the snow all surrounding it and the trees and whatnot. But anyway, I'd kind of let myself go, and pack on a few pounds here and there. I was maybe 222, 225 when I got out of the moving industry. Had a little belly on me, but pretty solid. Beyond that, carried everything well. Didn't look as heavy as I was, but over the years when I started getting up in the 230s, 235, it's like, well, my size 38 pants are starting to get too small, and then I didn't, for a while, I didn't even have a good scale, so I just wasn't paying attention, how it gets in life. Well, there's a few other little stories and little epiphanies along the way, but through that whole back situation, right at the end of 2016, I was like, man, this hurts, and I got to get my shit together. And the thing is, I knew getting weight off and getting more flexible again and all that, and just taking care of it, I didn't want to just sit back and throw pills at the situation. Oh, this hurts, let me take a pill so it stops hurting. Because I knew in my situation, I'm not trying to color anyone else's chronic pain situation, but in mine, I knew that I could directly impact it and mitigate all that if I just get off my ass, basically. So, if I had to guess, I was probably slightly heavier than this at some point. But when I went in for a little immediate care deal a few weeks into January 2017, just about that back deal, I was 248, and I was like, holy shit, I am fat, you know what I mean? And I need to get my shit together. So I started losing weight a little here and there as I was getting more mobile again, with full intention of the more mobile I got, the more I'd do. quick pit stop to flick my front and rear lights on. So I heard this statistic, researched it and such, that basically out of all the trips that people drive in the United States, of course this is based on averages, I'm just going off the top of my head here, but I'll put some links in the description you can check out, so you know I'm not just talking out of my ass. Approximately 40% of all the driving trips in the United States are less than 2 miles. And then about 50% are less than 3 miles. 3 miles or less. Then of course there's a gradient. It's like another 6% on top of that is 4 miles and such, but about 60% are 5 miles or less. Now, walking, obviously a mile or two. Now that might seem like a lot to some folks, but a mile or two isn't really that much once you're, you know, into walking. Not necessarily some kind of pro walker, but you just walk. And then of course 5 miles isn't much really for a bike, and of course anything in between. And I started thinking, man, with the obesity epidemic that we have and all ages and all this, if folks would just replace as much driving as possible with walking or riding or what have you, what could that do? And then I was like, well, what's good for the gander must be good for the goose, to use the old adage in reverse. And I was like, self, why don't you just do that? And that's what I started doing. And that's what I'm still doing. Let's go see what kind of treasures we can find here in the Goodwill to make a few bucks on eBay, so we don't have to have a real job for another 10 years. I don't have any particularly fantastic bikes here today, but the last 2 bikes that I previously bought and have ridden thousands of miles on came from this actual Goodwill. I bought one for about 40 bucks and one for about 25 bucks, and I have gotten my money's worth out of those dudes. Bottles, backpacks, all kinds of adventure gear, clothing, whatnot. You can save a ton of money just being patient and hitting up, you know, Goodwills and such, thrift stores. Oh yeah, a decent pair of Willow Kais. Never 100% sure about the pronunciation, but these always flip very quick. In high demand, cost me, I don't know, $5 here. Probably sell for 45-ish, give or take. So, score. Just those by themselves are worth the trip. Cool little example. USA BMX hoodie. If I were a size medium and a BMXer, I might snatch that. But I'm a large, and I'm a road and mountain biker. Not that that really matters, but just an example of stuff you can find cheap and save yourself some ducats on if you're in the biking world or the fitness world. Saw another dude ride by on a bicycle. Just for shits and giggles and a change of scenery, I'll go the front way. Headed back west with my shoes acquired so I can get paid on eBay. And just live my best life. You know what they say. Everyone's living their best life these days. He's honking at my ass. I might pull my shank. How can I help you? What's that? Right across the road there. Yeah, if you go through here to this light, that's the best way to cross. Thank you. And it's just right over there. All right, have a good night, man. She was lost and now she's found. I'm a Google guide in Plainfield in more than one way. People just honk at me on the road. Out here on the highway, Main Street in Plainfield, Highway 40, Washington Street, whatever. I normally ride down the the side lane or the right turn lane. Don't have too much trouble with it. Or if I want to get more little jumps and bunny hops in down the scraggly ass sidewalk that they've got. So back to I think where I left off. So I was around 248 and whittled it down, about 8 pounds maybe. I think I was like maybe 240, 239. And then my brother had an extra ticket for his company trip thing to go to Hawaii. So I went with him in April and was more active that week, especially with walking and hiking, than I had been in years. Thanks a lot, bro. No big deal. I didn't mind getting up at 4 in the goddamn morning to hike out to an active volcano 8 miles. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. So when I got back, I'm like, Self, why don't you just keep this shit rolling here and stay active? Yeah, I mean, at this level. So what I came up with was, if I could just walk 50 miles a week on the average, you know, 7.5-ish miles a day, whatever, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, shoot for that, then just get everything just moving, you know, just get all my systems, all the tissues just active, just used to it. And I started doing that, and maybe a month and a half later, well, so I started this, what became Fitter After 40, when I was 90 days, when I was 90 days out from, I'm gonna cut through the parking lot just for fun here, go the back way to Big B Coffee, well, not exactly the back way, but the back-ish way. Let's see here now. Hey, look, good on you, dude. So 90 days before I turned 40, I started this Instagram thing just to hold my own ass accountable, called 90 Days Till 40. Well, that's what ended up after that, becoming Fitter After 40, and I just kept at it. And here I am now making a video too on YouTube. And lost over 40 pounds since the beginning, in a hell of a lot better shape all around. So I say all that to say this: let me encourage you. You don't have to have any big plan. You don't have to have a bunch of fitness gear. You don't have to have any running shoes. All kinds of fancy shit. We're too big, I think, on the gear here in America. I'm following this guy right now down in South America. I'll link him on Instagram. This dude is riding all over the place on his grandfather, who passed away, his old single speed raggedy asshole looking bike, and this dude's just out there doing it. And then you'll have somebody that, you know, maybe has a $500 bike in America, and they're like, oh, I'd really love to get into biking, but, you know, if I only had a $2,000 bike like the guy down the street, fuck that guy. He's probably riding goddamn 10 miles a week, maybe not all. He just got a fancy bike. Go out there and take your daughter's little goddamn pink Next that you got 2 years ago at Walmart, ride it to the damn convenience store once a day, blow out your damn quads, and start getting in some kind of shape, and go from there. If all you got's a bathrobe and some house slippers, go walking in that. Because at the end of the day, your health is your health. You own it, and it's nobody else's to control one way or the other. I mean, I don't mean that folks can't encourage you. What I mean is this: if you're out of shape and you're in crap shape, you got to live with that. And of course, other people around you do too, but it's you more than anything. And you know, You owe it to yourself to do what you can, I believe. And don't wait for perfect situations. Just get on it. And you'll figure it out as you go. Gonna meet my son here. Have a little father-son time and talk about our workouts. Make some plans for the next week. Gotta get the weekly goals in. Got my to-go weekly planner for business, workout logbook for the obvious, coffee for the soul. We got this bum, the son Caleb, rolling in, looking sketchy, working on his goals as well. There's just so many untold, innumerable benefits to getting in a healthier body, not to mention a healthier mind. And it's just good all around. Good for you, good for the people you're around in life, friends, family, enemies. It's even good for them. So many fruits and vegetables. Bless myself with a vodka 7 later after this ride. With a slice of lime. Got some bananas here. Have a little tradition almost every time I come to Meijer. I grab one banana to eat when I'm leaving. Just to potassium back up again. Stuff in the backpack. Ready to ride home and make dinner. Track stand. Just for fun. See, with a Plus mountain bike, I had to estimate 22, 25 pound backpack on by this time with all the crap in it. What kind of speed we can get up to here. Until next time, which will probably be sooner than later. Fitter After 40, signing out. If you want to support the channel, check the links, buy my books, buy my CDs, my eBay, get all kinds of good clothing, shoes, housewares, all kinds of stuff on there, vintage items. Have a good day.